Meeting call to order. I would just like to extend a welcome to everybody who has made it out today for today's meeting. This is the fourth quarters meeting for the year 2022, and it has been a long and rough year. And we just want to let you know that you are appreciated and you continue to make things happen when there are limited resources, and we appreciate that. Regarding today's meeting, Miss Tamara White, Miss Pat Pink, and Jody Thomas will not be in attendance because of unforeseen circumstances. And also, we learned this morning that Miss Kim Green from Curative, she lost her mother. And so we just like to extend the condolence to her and her family in their time of bereavement. At this time, we'll take the recap of the minutes from previous meetings.
Meeting was called to order by Mrs. R. Nelson on August 25th, 2022 at approximately 2 p.m. Minutes of the last meeting read by Miss S. Malcolm has confirmed by Mr. D. O'Connor, seconded by Mrs. R. Nelson. All business discussed. Complete expansion of the triage waiting area to house another 50 patients. New business discussed. We need 10 benches into the triage waiting area to house 50 patients. It was suggested that Miss R. Little handle said business. In any other business, person was encouraged to be punctual and to follow protocol when dealing with patients. Meeting was called to order at 2:30. Meeting was adjourned at 2:30 p.m. by Miss S. Brown. Has been an increase in number of escalated conflict reports between staff members at the records department and patients or relatives of patients. There also been an concurrent declined in customers satisfactory at the end of the Q2 of this year. Meeting was adjourned at 2:30 p.m. by Miss S. Brown.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sharona Malcolm. Sharona Malcolm, you have also been previously assigned to take the minutes for this meeting. Has everyone received a copy of today's agenda?
Yes.
Okay, are there any recommended amendments to this agenda? Okay, so I'm requesting a motion that the agenda be accepted.
Aye.
Is there anyone to second this motion?
Seconded.
Okay, we'll be moving forward with the first item on the first agenda item. So this corresponds with the findings from Q2, where there has been an increase in the total number of escalated conflicts reported at the records department between the staff members and patients or patients' family members. And as such, this department, the record department, is responsible for this month or this quarter's meeting. We are putting forward our staff development initiative, which will be focusing on internal job coaching venture that is geared towards better conflict management. So the first item on the agenda is the presentation of an action plan that will give details of the initiative that we hope to put in place to better manage conflict resolution in the department for records, the records department here at Jambat Health Center. So the action plan for this initiative will be presented by yours truly, Roxanne Nelson, Mrs. Roxanne Nelson, and everyone should by now have received a copy of their action plan. We hope to facilitate a few questions, if you may have any such, later on in our meeting in other businesses. So moving forward with the presentation of the action plan. Misha K. Brown, please do not allow me to go beyond 8 minutes. I've allotted 8 minutes for this work action presentation. Okay, so as was said before, our project is entitled the Job Coaching for Improved Conflict Management, and the project manager is yours truly, Roxanne Reynolds Nelson, Assistant Supervisor at the Record Department here at the Jambat Health Center. So the reason for this job coaching initiative, as was stated earlier, is that based on the annual customer service satisfaction survey conducted here at the Jambat Health Center, we have come to realize that there has been a 20% decline for the years ending 2020 and the 2021, and it has continued for 2022, where there has been a decline in customer satisfaction. Simultaneously, there's also been an increase here, particularly at the records department, of reported escalated conflicts between members of staff here at records and the patients or relatives of patients. And so we presume that there's a correlation between the decline in customer satisfaction and the escalated conflicts. So this quarter, we at the records department, we are focusing our development initiative on internal coaching venture that is geared towards better conflict management, especially as it relates to our customers, which are mostly patients. So the goal of this initiative is to decrease the reported incidents of escalated conflicts between members of the records team and the customers they serve by 90% compared to the ending of last year, 2021, and this has to be achieved by December 2023. And our benchmark for success, by the end of December 2023, we are anticipating that the records department will show the greatest decline in the number of escalated conflicts that's across the health center. And our second benchmark for success is that we hope to be ranked among the top 3 departments in customer service satisfaction. So this initiative has a total of 5 phases. In phase 1, it is the pre-assessment phase, where the objective is to determine conflict management gaps within the records department. We hope to gather information to identify the gaps or the root cause for conflicts at the department by doing an interview of staff members, using an interview as the instrument to determine such information. And we also hope to give a survey to our patients that we'll use to gather information to determine the root cause for some of the conflicts that we have been having. And this information will later be analyzed by the assigned persons there, as you can see on the action plan that you're viewing. And a pilot study is to be done of the survey instrument before we use the final instrument to obtain the information, because we want to ensure that the instrument, which is a survey, is effective at getting the desired information. Okay, so the second phase of the initiative is for the preparation of training, and the objective is to sensitize the staff as well as to source the resources that will be needed for the training. So during the period of training, we anticipate that we will have a decreased output in the volume of patients that we can see and in terms of services that we can provide. So it will be necessary for us to inform the parish, the personnel officer, the parish manager of the changes to the department or to the services being offered, or the volume of the services being offered during the period of training. And we hope to do that between the period of January 2 to 3. Okay, the sensitization of the staff will be done through a PowerPoint presentation shown to the staff member with the goal of getting them warmed up to the idea of coaching so that we can get persons to volunteer to become certified coaches. We hope to train 5 coaches, which will be certified, international certified at the end of the training, who will then provide on-the-job coaching to other members of the department. So we have drafted a budget, and we hope to get sponsors as well as to provide. We have drafted a budget, and we hope to get sponsors to provide funding for this initiative. A promotion is being planned. A cake sale promotion is being planned as the major item to fund this budget, but we'll also be seeking sponsorship from companies as it relates to providing refreshment throughout the training period. We have targeted the Junior Holland Conference Center as the site for training, which will run from March 1 to 15. And the training will be done by an online platform known as the Training Resource Network. So the course name will be the Job Coaching and Consulting course, and it will be done by the online platform or the online website known as Training Resource Network. At the end of the course, the volunteers will be given a competency exam, which will enable them to obtain competency to say that they're certified job coaches and trained with an emphasis in customer conflict, rather in conflict management. So that will be phase 2 of the project. Phase 3 of the project is where the actual training will take place. That is where we'll be training the job coaches. And as was said before, the training should begin on March 1st and run through to March 15 by the online platform at the Junior Holland Conference Center. And phase 4 will be where the job coaching is implemented within the department. The objective of phase 4 is to ensure that the volunteer job coaches carry out one-on-one training within the department. So it's for knowledge share. Okay, so phase 4, the second to last phase of the initiative, is where we'll be implementing the job coaches, the certified job coaches will be implementing their coaching techniques, where they'll be volunteering or they'll be carrying out one-on-one training within their departments. So for ease of rapport, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but for ease of rapport, to splice that in. They're going to have to cut it out. So phase 4 will be the job coaching implemented, where the certified job coaches now will be carrying out one-on-one training within the department, particularly in the area of conflict management. So for ease of report, we're going to be asking the members of the record department to choose their job coach, and we hope to give them their first or their second choice, the job coach that they would like to work with. The responsibility of the job coach will be to work with individuals to make individualized management development plan and to execute this development plan. This development plan will incorporate different phases. So there'll be a mid-progress report. There'll be an adjustment report for any changes that has been made to the execution plan subsequent to the mid-progress report. And finally, the job coaches will rate the competency of the staff member that they're working with as it relates to conflict management. We hope to provide them an internal competency certificate at the end of their training, their immediate training. And at which point now we are going to check with our key performance indicators to find out if the initiative has led to any improved in customer service and if there has been a decrease in the number of escalated conflicts reported. So we hope to get that information from the reports from Q3 of next year. That is Q3 report on customer satisfaction and complaints for 2003. By Q4, we hope to have realized the complete 70% decline in number of customer escalated conflicts reported. We hope to achieve that by the end of Q4 of 2023. And also we hope to have an increase in customer satisfaction. And we were aiming at a 30% increase in satisfaction, but that's flexible since the goal is more focused on the number of the decline escalated conflicts reported. And we don't want to have this phase out. We want to have a continuum. So we're going to have a phase 5 of this initiative for long-term benefit of job coaching. We want to retain the benefit of job coaching because this initiative will cost us some money. It will cost us some money. I want to ensure that we reap the benefits long-term. We want to prevent the washout phenomenon. And so we want to do a yearly assessment of gaps in conflict management and do internal training or refresher courses internally once per year, depending on what the report looks like. So if we find out that the gaps are increasing, we might need to up the amount of training, but we're aiming to just do one training per year for starters after identifying the gaps that we have in conflict management. So that gives us a sum of the action plan that we hope to implement starting January, that's Q1 of 2023. I think that's a wrap. You indicated 7 minutes, not bad, Miss Brown. Okay, moving forward with the second agenda item, in keeping with our emphasis on customer service, our customer satisfaction, we hope to sensitize or give a refresher course to the employees here at the Jamvat Health Center on ethics and its association with customer service or customer satisfaction. And that presentation will be done by Mr. O'Connor, Davel O'Connor, pardon. Okay, so the third and final agenda item on our meeting today is with regards to procuring more benches for the newly expanded waiting area for the patients at the triage section of the health center. So everyone should be aware by now that the triage waiting here has been expanded with the goal of accommodating an additional 50 patients in the waiting area. However, we are in need of procuring benches for these patients to sit on. Miss Little has been assigned this project. So Miss Little, if you are able to provide us with an update on that project, we'll take that at this time. Okay, so the third and final agenda item on our meeting today is with regards to procuring more benches for the newly expanded waiting area for the patients at the triage section of the health center. So everyone should be aware by now that the triage waiting here has been expanded with the goal of accommodating an additional 50 patients in the waiting area. However, we are in need of procuring benches for these patients to sit on. Miss Little has been assigned this project. So Miss Little, if you are able to provide us with an update on that project, we'll take that at this time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Raylene Little. I'm reporting on the procurement of benches. 10 benches were ordered at the cost of $120,000. These benches were ordered from Jamaica Hospital Supplies. These benches are scheduled to be delivered on the 22nd of December, that is next week, Thursday.
Okay, I would like to thank you, Miss Renella Little, for giving us an update on the procurement. And we're happy to know that you were able to accomplish this project in just 2 weeks. So let's give Miss Little a recommendation. She got the project just 2 weeks ago and she was able to finalize the procurement. And now the shipment is confirmed, or the chairs are confirmed to be delivered by next Thursday, correct? Next Thursday. So good job on that, Miss Little. Okay, so we have covered the agenda items for this meeting. It's now time to facilitate any questions, any clarifications, any feedback. Now the floor is open to anybody who would have such.
So, okay, Ms. Reynolds, you mentioned that this training venture would be costly and that you'd be receiving sponsorships. Do you care to mention how you plan to get the sponsorship? How you plan to get the funding for this project?
So we understand that the government doesn't have money, and much of these initiatives as it relates to personal development or even development of our employees would be funded out of our pockets, right? So when I say it's expensive, the budget that we have drafted thus far has put it at roughly 50,000 Jamaican dollars. That is inclusive of stationery supplies, the online training itself, as well as any other minor resources that we would need for the training. And so we hope to do a fundraising that would be well supported. That is why I'm happy that we're putting this forward at this quarterly meeting. So all of the health center, we're anticipating your support with this cake sale. We anticipate that you will share or you'll purchase cakes for your relatives, for your neighbor. We just want your full support as it relates to the cake sale. And also the companies that we're seeking sponsorship with, these companies have had long-term relationship with, we have had long-term relationship with them, and they have always supported us in our ventures. We understand that we are in a recession, and so what we're trying to do, instead of, we want to decrease the amount of, we want to decrease the amount of, or the items that we'll be asking each company for, and instead try to use a broad approach. We want to find some additional sponsors, not just our long-term sponsors. We want to ask them for less this time, but expand how many companies we'd approach to get sponsorship, because we understand that we're in a recession and, you know, money is low. So instead of bulking up our requests on the few of the companies that we would have long-term relationship, we are seeking to have to formulate partnership with more companies now. So that's what we're doing. We're looking at companies like Usinco, we're looking at Grace, and what we seek in terms of sponsorship is not necessarily monetary sponsorship. These are just products that they would naturally supply, like national bread and stuff. We could get bread and so to sort out the refreshment. We're mostly aiming for sponsorship to cover the refreshment aspect of the budget versus cash. But we, of course, we want to run back cash. Cash, no problem. Any other questions?
All right, Ms. Reynolds, thank you very much. That was a very detailed answer. My other question is regarding how you plan to achieve the 70% decline in conflicts. Do you really think that is realistic?
Okay, so when we say 70% decline, we have had a history over the last 3 or so years. We would have roughly, well, the last 4 or so years, we would have had roughly like per quarter would have like 7 or 8 reported conflicts for the quarter, but we have realized that that number has gone up to about 20 something. So when we say 70%, the number is not so much, it might appear to be big, but we're dealing with roughly about 23, I think it was 23 conflict, reported escalated conflict the last time, about 23. So 70% of 73 is not that much, right? So the number that we're dealing with is small, and that is for one. So that for one makes it more feasible. 2, we will be implementing strict monitoring of this initiative. So we'll be having incremental reports to give feedback on the progress. We'll be keeping track of our key performance indicators. We'll be making reference to a benchmark, the benchmark for the project, to ensure that all of the plans that we're putting in place and initiatives we're on target, so to speak. So we'll be monitoring the initiative closely and giving timely reports so that we can find out if what we have in place is working or if it's not working, and we'll have sufficient time to go back to the drawing board and to make amendments where it's needed. But most importantly, we can have good initiatives, we can have excellent plans, but we need full cooperation from the participants. So we need persons to volunteer to be job coaches, especially if you know that you have a knack for coaching. We want you to, or for even teaching, if you enjoy it, we want you to volunteer. We want persons to volunteer to be interviewed, and we want persons to support. We want persons to help to hand out the surveys to the patients. So the more support we get, the more likely it is that we would achieve this goal of 70%. It's very doable. I believe we can do it.
Thank you, Ms. Reynolds. Thank you very much for providing that information.
Okay, if there are any further questions. Okay, there is none. Okay, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who has turned out, or everyone who has turned out to our final quarterly meeting for the year 2022. It's almost Christmas time, and we want to know that we're going into the new year with a bang. We want to ensure that we plan for success, and so we're happy that you came. You took the time out of your busy schedule to be here. As was said, as is customary, you will be getting a follow-up email with the minutes as well as supporting documents, and you can feel free to give your correspondence to let us know if there are any questions that you would have thought of outside of this forum. You can inform us of same. So at this time, I motion for the meeting to be adjourned. Can I get a motion for, I'm sorry, rather, may I get a motion for the meeting to be adjourned?
I motion for the meeting to be adjourned.
I second for the meeting to be adjourned.
Okay, thank you again.